How often do you text and drive? No, really, think about it. You're driving down the road and your phone buzzes, beeps, or hollers. Do you take a peek?
If you answered yes, you're risking your life and the lives of others.
A recent AT&T survey asked 1,200 teens about texting and driving, and the results were quite scary. 61% of teenagers who answered questions say they look at their phone while driving. 43% of them say they actually text while driving, and they know it's not safe. Because in that exact same survey, almost all of the teens said texting and driving is dangerous. And when they're sitting at a red light, more teens think it's okay to mess with their phones. 73% glance at their messages, while 60% of them send one. But that could be just as dangerous because did you know thousands of crashes happen each year at intersections with traffic lights? And peer pressure could be to blame because 9 out of every 10 teens surveyed expect a reply within 5 minutes. And adults aren't helping, at least from the teenager's perspective, because 77% of teens said adults tell kids not to text and drive, yet do it themselves all the time. So what will make them stop? 89% of teenagers surveyed said a phone app that prevents texting and driving would be an effective way to get them and their friends to stop. So the next step, download AT&T Drive Mode, an app that helps curb the urge to text and drive. Then, take the pledge and share it with your friends. Texting and driving, it can wait. Hundreds of thousands of people have already signed on. Will you?
Here's how it works. First, open the app, which is preloaded on Android phones. Click the icon to create your own auto-reply message or use the one supplied below. When anyone texts you, this is what they will see, sort of like an out-of-office alert. Next, you can set up which features you want to set on auto-reply, like your text messages and incoming phone calls. You are also able to select up to 5 people to add to your allow list. This means you'll be able to call and receive calls from those people, even while the app is enabled. And 911 is always allowed. If you choose Allow Incoming Calls via Bluetooth, all calls are put through as long as the receiving phone is using a hands-free Bluetooth device. The newest enhancement is the addition of parental alerts. It alerts parents if certain features like automatic mode and GPS are turned off. The most important alert tells parents if drive mode is turned off while the car is moving. An additional feature is the automatic mode. By using your phone's GPS, automatic mode enables drive mode to start when it registers that the vehicle has reached 25 miles per hour and turns off after it is certain the vehicle has stopped. Once that happens, anything you missed can be viewed as normal. It's that simple, so don't forget to activate and set up AT&T Drive Mode before getting behind the wheel, because no text is worth a life.
One call can wreck it all. Every 64 minutes, a teen is killed due to distracted driving. It is also said that the deadliest times of the day are between 3 p.m. and 12 a.m. This is because traffic has increased because kids are getting out of school and adults are getting off work. Statistics say that teens are 4 times more likely to get into a crash than adults. It's recorded that 1.6 million accidents happen each year caused by texting while driving. And the economic cost of police-reported crashes is $40.8 billion a year. That is a lot of money for something that is completely preventable. Arnold H. Glasow once said, "A tree never hits an automobile except in self-defense." So ask yourself these questions. Have you ever been in the car while the driver is texting? Have you ever been in the car while the driver is using their cell phone? Have you ever talked on the phone while driving? Have you ever texted while driving? This was Candace Martin's car. She was born March 14, 1996. She was a senior at Graham High School whenever her life was flipped around because of one small device. On April 16, 2014, Candace was on her way to the school to load the bus and leave for the area track meet when she decided that it was okay to pick up her phone and send a quick text while approaching a corner. What she didn't know was that she was crossing over the median line, and coming in the opposite direction was a truck that met her head-on, causing her little Toyota Camry to crumple under the F-150, ending Candace's life. She has many friends and family that love and miss her, all because of one simple mistake that teens and adults do every day.
Your hand may be on the wheel, but your mind is definitely not on the road. In fact, using your cell phone while driving quadruples your chances of being in a car accident. Hang up and drive. It's the right call.
I pledge to not text and drive.
I pledge not to text and drive.
I pledge not to text and drive.
I pledge to not text and drive.
In 2013, cell phone use was a contributing factor in more than 1,000 crashes in Texas alone.
I pledge to not text and drive.
I pledge to not text and drive.
I pledge not to text and drive.
Texting while driving makes a driver 23 times more likely to crash.
No dirijas no celular.
No mandar mensaje conduciendo.
I pledge not to text and drive.
21% of distracted teen drivers involved in fatal accidents were distracted by cell phones.
I pledge to not text and drive.
I pledge to not text and drive.
I pledge not to text and drive.
I pledge not to text and drive.
According to the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety, texting while driving kills 11 teens each day. I pledge not to text and drive.
I pledge to not text and drive.
I pledge not to text and drive.
I pledge not to text and drive.
82% of Americans aged 16 through 17 own cell phones, while only 34% of them admit to texting while driving.
I pledge not to text and drive.
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 Teens who text and drive spend approximately 10% of their driving time outside of their lane.